Took my brother off the streets, gave him a place to stay, and even found him a job. And now, after returning from a 2-month business trip, I've discovered the worst betrayal imaginable. He's been with my wife this whole time. My brother has always had issues with our family. Ever since he was a teenager, he would constantly argue with our parents, storm out of the house, and disappear for months on end. Eventually he would always come crawling back, broken and asking for money. At first our parents helped him, but as his behavior continued, they grew tired of the pattern and eventually banned him from the house. Even then he'd keep showing up, promising he had changed. He would beg for another chance, only to revert to his old ways within a few days, causing more fights, more chaos, until he left again. This cycle repeated itself over and over until my father finally put his foot down and permanently banned him from our home. When my brother ignored this and came by anyway, my parents had no choice but to call the police on him. Despite all this, he kept reaching out to me, pleading for help, saying he regretted everything he'd done and needed a place to stay. For the longest time I ignored him too. But eventually I couldn't stand to see my own brother in such a desperate state. I had 2 apartments in the building where I lived. I was using one, and the other I had planned to rent out. But when I saw my brother living on the street, I made a decision. I gave him the apartment to live in and even got him a job at the company where I work. Yes, I knew it was a risky move, but I did it out of love and hope that maybe, just maybe, he had finally turned his life around. For a while, everything seemed to be going smoothly. I thought he was finally changing, becoming a better person. So, when I went on a business trip to open a new branch in another state, I asked my wife to keep an eye on him to make sure he stayed out of trouble. She assured me that everything was fine, so I had no reason to suspect anything was wrong. But then, 2 months later, you can now check if there is a part 2 by clicking share and more.